Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Combat Talk. I'm your favorite MMA host, Sophia, and today we got some fight night predictions for this weekend's card, and then we have some GFL fights to talk about, some comebacks, some new signings, and some new episodes to talk about for new Tough season. So, we're going to get into that. But stay tuned after the commercial break, guys. So, bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Now, our first segment, we have UFC Fight Night predictions for this week's Fight Night. I know all you guys are like, Sophia, you only do the big cards. Why would you do a Fight Night? Why would you do a Fight Night? Well, is he my personal fave? No, but let's get into it. The first fight, we have Ricky Simon versus Javid Bashrat at bantamweight, guys. And Ricky Simon's a striker. He's got one-punch knockout power. He's got power kicks and takedowns. Meanwhile, Jared, we're calling him Jared, is an MMA fighter, has very good low kicks, head kicks, and good wrestling defense. I'm calling, who should we go with? I think I'm Ricky. So, I don't really know these two fighters, so we're just going to pick one and call it a day. So, on to the next fight. We have Ion Kutalaba versus Ibat Islam. Whatever. However you say his name, I don't care. At light heavyweight, we have Ion with wrestling, some striking, he's got some good kicks. He's a very reactive fighter. He's able to counter with overhands, and he's just got those power hands. Like, he's got knockout power, but yet he can control the whole fight at any moment. And Ebo, he's a striker. He's got some power hands. He's got some knockout shots, but he's able to take the fight to the ground. I'm gonna go Ebo just because. Fight me on it. I really don't care. That's your battle to lose, not mine. So, on to our main card. Well, before we get to the main card, let me just preface this. But, 3 days ago, when this card was, talked about and starting to get talked about, one of the fights got canceled. So, when I was doing my predictions for you guys, I had to read because one that added. And then also Mr. Austin Vanderford from Bellator is now with the UFC and fighting this weekend. And so stay tuned because we will talk about him later on the show, letting you know now. But on to our main card, we have Alonzo Mainfield versus Julius Walker at light heavyweight. Alonzo's a striker. He's got power. He's got hooks that he uses a lot. Maintains control the whole fight. Meanwhile, Julius Walker is an MMA-based fighter. He has bad defense. He stays in the clinch for way too long. We're going to go with Alonzo. If you cannot take the fight to the ground when you're in clinch, you got issues, buddy. I don't understand how you're not doing that. But that's your problem, not mine. On to our next fight. We have Rob Font versus John Matasumoto. However you want to say that name. At catchweight, we have Rob Font, striker-based. High submission rate, overhands, power hands. Able to control the on the ground to get the finish. Now, if you watch Rob Font, you know he's a big-time UFC vet. And you know he's been fighting for a while in the UFC. This man, majority of his fights are actually submissions. And they are not even close to anybody else's submission rate. He does so much on the ground, and he's able to control on the ground. He makes people go to sleep. So Hey, just saying, warning to this guy. And then John, MMA based, enforces strength on his opponents, able to put people to sleep, and head kicks he's good at. I'm going Rob Font. I'm a Rob Font fan all the way through. To all my Rob Font fans, we're for supporting me, because without her, this show is just not functioning right now. So on to our next fight. We have Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez at middleweight. Brendan Allen's a jiu-jitsu base. He has power hands. He's able to rely on his jiu-jitsu. Most of his fights has gone to the ground because of his jiu-jitsu, and able to take down the person, able to control the fight. And actually, interesting fact about this fight, both these guys come from a jiu-jitsu background. So we're going to see where this goes. I'm going to pick Anthony Hernandez because he just has better striking, and he's able to switch to different positions, and he's able to control the whole fight. But the thing is, with two jiu-jitsu based fighters, we've also seen this with two wrestlers. They do more striking than going to the ground, which you would, in my opinion, wouldn't you want to test that theory of who has the better jiu-jitsu or who has the better wrestling? But, I'm not the fighter in this fight, so that's not my problem. But on to the main event, people. We have Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Yes, I know, it's a funny nickname. Well, not nickname, it's his name. Very sorry for that, dude. But Song is actually really good. He comes from Team Alpha Male. Has been doing really well. So this fight is at bantamweight. Henry Cejudo is making his comeback. He's a wrestler. He lives with his jabs. He relies on his wrestling. He's able to take a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Song, he's a striker. He's very reactive to a lot of other fighters. He's just a reactive fighter. And he does a lot of low kicks. He has good defense. He does a lot of body kicks. He's able to take a lot of damage. Now, the one thing that I want to see is who's able to get to the ground and who's able to control. Because both these fighters are very fast-paced, but is Henry Cejudo, is this his last fight? Do we know? Do we not know? Is he willing to make a title run? I don't think he is. Henry Cejudo just does not have what it takes. He just doesn't. And to be honest, I think he should retire after this fight. He's not fought in like a year or two, and now he wants to come back for what? So he can be popular again because he was barely making any money? Yeah, I said it. Come after me. I don't care. We're picking Song. I think Song's gonna get the knockout. We're gonna go with knockout. Yeah. I'm not saying what round because I'm always wrong on the round. But with that being said, that was my Fight Night predictions. But stay tuned for the rest of the segments on the show. But now we're gonna throw it to our first song, Chasing the Sun by The Wanted. I hope you guys enjoy this. Everybody, and welcome back to Combat Talk. And now let's get into our next segment. The GFL Global Fight League has announced some of their fights, so let's run through them real quick. We got Uriah Faber versus Renan Barão. We got Fabricio Verdum versus Frank Mir. We got Uriah Hall versus Douglas Lima. We got Yoel Romero versus Shogun Rua. What? Nude. And we got Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. Bruh. What? Some of these fights, I don't understand. This is a retirement home for people. What are we doing? Now, with me saying that, I also do think the new upcoming fighters, and especially the fighters from Bellator looking for a new home, are going to see success in this. However, let's go through this first fight. Uriah Faber versus Renan Barão. Now, this fight will be the third fight between these two. These two fought in the UFC. My thing is, how is Uriah Faber going to do? Because the man has not fought in, like, a very long time. He's done some grappling matches on, shout out to Flow Grappling, because he was on there. Renan Barão, he's also very much of a powerhouse. Now, for tiny people, I know you're like, these are tiny men. What are you talking about? Tiny men got some power. I'm letting you know now. So, I'm going to pick... Oh, this is rough. This is, like, hard for me. My gut wants Uriah, but I think Renan might have a chance of knocking him out. I'm going with Uriah. You guys decide on that one. Not my issue either way. But all I'm saying is, if you bet on fights, you are so stupid. Please don't do that. Just don't. Just don't. I have to make that point very valid. And, like, right now, I just have to say that. On to our next fight. We have Fabricio Verdum versus Frank Mir. What? Like, what is this fight? Fabricio, he's kind of weird looking. He's got some issues. He's kind of, like, rude to a lot of people. Is he good? Yes, but he's been knocked out a lot. So is Frank Mir, but Frank Mir's just better. Frank Mir has better jiu-jitsu, and for a heavyweight, you wouldn't think a heavyweight would go to the ground and do jiu-jitsu. But Frank Mir has shown that through his whole career in the UFC and has done very well. So I'm going to pick Frank Mir for this one. Now, I know my picks are a little wild here, but it's my show, not yours. So I have to make that very clear. I say that every episode, but we're making that very clear again. And now we have Uriah Hall versus Douglas Lima. I honestly want to see how the striking goes because... Uriah Hall is known for his famous spinning head kick from Tough when John Jones coached against Chael Sonnen. Actually, stay tuned for the rest of the show because we will get into some Tough episodes in a new Tough season. But anyways, Uriah Hall versus Douglas Lima. I don't really know too much about Douglas. I've done some research, but I don't know about him. I'm a little too unsure, so I'm going to go with Uriah Hall. We're going to play it safe here. We're playing the safe card here. Just saying. But on to one of our last fights for the GFL. We have Yoel Romero versus Shogun Rua. Now, whoever made this fight, I hope you're okay. And I hope you're mentally stable because this is crap. I have to say that. Like, what is this? Like, this, yeah. We love my producer here. I love her. Gotta let you know. Also, real quick, before I get into this fight, shout out to Frankie Dexter, because this girl made this. So, this is our Combat Talk whiteboard, mostly for today. So, shout out to Frankie. Yoel Romero versus Shogun Rua. Whoever's doing this fight and made this fight, I think you're on drugs. Because I think you're stupid for what you did. Like, who puts these two together? But I'll make my pick. I'm picking Shogun. This fight is so stupid. Like, I don't understand why you put an older dude and then a younger dude together and be like, oh, we hope someone doesn't have a heart attack during the fight. Like, bruh. But Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. Power statement right here. Luke Rockhold. On to our next song. Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Hey, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that song. That was Wanna Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. On to our next segment. These are fights that just got announced, so let's get into it. We're gonna scroll through the list, and then you know what we did last segment. We're gonna go through it one by one. We have Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. We have Davison Figueiredo versus Corey Sanhagen. We got Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. We got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. We got Jeff Neal versus Prats. We have Patricio Ferreri versus Yair Rodriguez. We got Michael Chandler versus Patty Pimblett. We got Bilal versus Jack Della. What? We got Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Bruh. And we got Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. We got Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Bruh. You don't understand. Those are the fights coming up. But let's take it back to Misha Tate coming back and some of the new signings. Hello everybody, and that was 30 Seconds to Mars, Closer to the Edge. I hope you enjoyed that. But now into the fights that just got announced. Now, we talked a little bit about them at the beginning of the last segment. That was my bad. But let's talk about it. If you did not hear the list of the fights, let's go through it one more time, people. We got Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. We have Davison Figueiredo versus Corey Sanhagen. We got Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. We have Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. We got Jeff Neal versus Prats. We got Patricio Ferrer versus Yair Rodriguez. We got Michael Chandler versus Patty Pimblett. We got Bilal versus Jack Della Maddalena, however you say his last name. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. We got Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. We got Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Now, actually, we're not going to go all the way in order. We're going to go from last. We're going to start with the last one because it's my show, not yours. So, I'm very sorry about that. Now, the first fight we're going to go over, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Some insight to this fight. Ilya vacated the title because he wanted to go up to a weight class, and also they are working on him fighting Islam. Islam would kill him, just saying. Like, that's not even a match. That's Islam just straight up, I don't know if I can even say it, murder? Straight up murder. Like, bruh. Nah. And then for this fight, Diego's very fast. He's got a lot of speed following him. Alexander Volkanovski does too. He's just really short. So, poor dude. It's very short. He's got to fight all these tall people. I feel really bad. But honestly, this is a tough pick for me because I love both of them. And honestly, it doesn't really matter who's the better fighter in this fight. It's whoever can stay in the fight the longest, in my opinion. I'm going to pick Volkanovski because he has a better fight IQ, and plus he's just a better all-around fighter. I think Diego's very good. Striking-wise, on the ground, we need a little bit more to see. Even though we like exciting fights and we like the knockouts, we need to see more of Diego on the ground and see what he can do and see if he can control the fight on the ground, but that's all I'm going to leave it at. So Alex Volkanovski, you better stick with it. I need you to come through with this one. But on to our next fight. We got Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. I hate Kai Kara France. Why do you say that? Because someone over here is a Cody Garbrandt fan, and he beat Cody Garbrandt. That was a very emotional day for me. And why was it emotional? I don't know. Why are you so judgy over there? Like, ugh. Bruh, no, we're not dealing with that. But I'm going to pick Alexandre. His power is unbelievable. We've seen it against Brandon Moreno, And even though I'm a Brandon Moreno fan, I will admit, Alexandre is a better fighter. And he's just got way too much power. And he is really good on the ground. I'm going Alexandre. I'm leaving it at that. Short and sweet. Don't care. We got Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Who is Sean Brady? I don't know. We'll find out in this fight, though. I'll let you know now. Leon Edwards, he kind of made me mad his last fight because he didn't really show that he was champ. He showed that he was mentally out of it. And I don't know. Like, I think if Leon can get his stamina back, he can get his mental back, he will win this fight. So I'm going to go on Leon Edwards. But on to our next fight. We have Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. I don't even know who this other dude is. Bruh. And I know people are like, well, this is an MMA show. This is an MMA show. Shouldn't you know what you're researching about? Shouldn't you know what you're talking about? Yeah, dude, I do. But sometimes you just don't know someone. So, Bilal, I hope you take it. I'm not a huge Bilal fan. I do like him. I just think that Bilal needs to stop talking and actually fight, because you can't just talk and not fight. Like, you're a fighter. You can't be talking crap and be like, oh, let that win the fight. No, dude, you're champ now. Now you gotta fight all these dudes that think they can beat you. So, Bilal better put through. He better pull through, because we're gonna have some issues. But on to our next fight. We have Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. I know a lot of people are very upset because they wanted Michael Chandler versus Conor. Well, when you have a metal rod in your leg and you also can't get past the court, you got some issues, buddy. That's all I'm going to leave it at. I'm not getting into that. That's not my personal life. That's his. But Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett, I'm actually really interested to see how the striking goes, because both these people are known for knocking people out. Michael does have good wrestling. Paddy does have really good jiu-jitsu. So this could be a good fight to watch. I don't know if it will go the distance. I don't really see it going the distance. I kind of see it going either the second or third round finishing. But I'm going to pick Paddy. Yeah, I said it. Have issues with it. I don't care. On to our next fight. We got Patricio Ferreira versus Yair Rodriguez. I know there's not much excitement. You heard it in my voice. I'm going to leave it at that. Because Pitbull, you suck. I'm going to say no. As a person, you do. As a fighter, no. You're really good. Yair, I think he's looking for that statement of a fight, and he needs the magnitude of a fight where he has someone that he can show his skills off against and who actually has a name. And a lot of people know who Patricio is, but I think Patricio is more on the decline because he's been fighting for so long. But it's also, you know, this is the first time in a good while Patricio has not had the title, and he's not fought for a title. So, and this time he's got to prove it. So we're going to see how it goes. But I'm going to go Yair. Yeah, I said it. And people are like, Pitbull's been in this for a long time. Okay. And dude's on the decline. He going down. Bro, we don't care about him. That's all I'm going to say. People can hate on it all you want. But next we have Jeff Neal versus Prats. I really know how to feel about this. Jeff Neal, he's sloppy. I think he's very sloppy. I don't think he has very much of speed. He kind of reminds me of Sean Strickland, but he's not as good as Sean Strickland. He has that iCarly stance. So I don't know how you do that in a fight and how you don't get knocked out. But, you know, when you're stupid like that, I guess you could win anything you want. But I'm going to go with Prats because I just want to see Jeff Neal get knocked out. People are like, you're so mean for that. You're so mean. Don't act like you're not on the same page with me. Do not act like that. You know you want the same thing. If you're a Jeff Neal fan, you either personally know him or you just are like, ugh, I need money. I don't know. That's your personal vendetta, not mine. But on to the next fight. We have Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. All I gotta say is Valentina's winning. Hands down. That's all I'm saying. Beef with me all you want. I don't care. And then next we have Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Alexa Grasso. those two fights, all I gotta say is I need another fight between Alexa Grasso versus Valentina. I need a fourth fight. I need it. Because these two women are too good not to fight each other again. So, Alexa Grasso, I need you to win this fight. But on to our last two fights. We have Davison Figueiredo versus Corey Sandhagen. This actually shocked me when I found out because Davison is such a strong, willing fighter, and Corey Sandhagen's able to take a lot of damage, but he also can bring a lot of damage to others in this sport. So we're going to go with Figueiredo just because of the speed and the power, and he's very powerful on the ground too. So I don't think Corey can take it. I really don't. As much as I want him to win, I don't think he can handle it. But on to our last one. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Who is Michael Morales? I don't know. We'll find out soon, though. All I gotta say is Gilbert Burns is winning this. He's too strong. He's too powerful. He can land the knockout shot. He can choke you out. He can put you to sleep at any time he wanted. He can knock you out anytime he wanted. I just need a rematch versus Gilbert and Kamaru Usman. Speaking of which, where's Kamaru? Bro, where are you at? We need you back. Like, we need you to wake up and be like, hey, dude, what's up? But that was the fights that just got announced. So stay tuned after this song because we got one more topic to talk about. It's very interesting. So on to our next song. We got Youth of the Nation by POD. Everybody, and unfortunately, this is the last segment, but some exciting news. We have Tough 33 announced. Chael Sonnen versus Daniel Cormier. Will these two fight? No, and god awful. We do not want to see that. Now, the show, I know. When is it airing? May 27th. May 27th. Keep that in mind, folks. Then, what are the weight classes? Well, we got flyweight and welterweight. No, unfortunately, we don't have women on the season. How unfortunate. But let's run through the flyweight real quick. We have Alibi, Idris, Arshinian, Memon, Eduardo, Henrique, Farakbeg, Yokbov, Manuel Rodriguez, Joseph Morales, Robert Echeverry, Tumelo Manemia. I can't say these names. I'm so sorry. I don't feel bad. I do a little bit. I can't lie. That was the flyweight division. Now the welterweight. Welterweight? Can I talk? This is like a whole flashback to last week. Sorry. No, actually 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Now that I think of it. Welterweight division, people. We have Alex Sanchez, Andracy Binder, Danny Doncheco, Diego Biccini, Jeff Creighton, Richard Martins, Rodrigo Cezando, Matt Dixon. All I gotta say is, why are the welterweight names so much easier to say than the flyweight? That makes me so confused. But I honestly want to see how this works out, because a lot of these people actually have titles to their names from the amateur leagues. What do I think could happen on the show? I think just like any other season, we can get a lot of household names happening, and we can get a lot of legends that come from the show. My honest to God favorite season is season 10 with Rashad and Rampage. You cannot beat that. I'm sorry. The potential of the show, we can see a lot of good fights happening, a lot of good striking, a lot of good coaching. I just want to see how Chael and Daniel are around each other, because that's a lot of smack talk, and Chael Sonnen, the bad guy, one of my favorites. Like, how can you go wrong with him? But unfortunately, that was Tough 33, and that was Combat Talk today. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to leave you. But I'm your MMA host. I'm your favorite MMA host. What am I saying? Sophia. And that was Combat Talk. We're going to close off with Miss Independent by Kelly Clarkson. I'll see you guys next week.